Alice! This glass is chipped.
You wanted to use Ma's crystal. Most of them have a small chip or two.
And some of the silver needs polishing.
Pa, we're doing the best that we can.
It has to be perfect, Alice. This is Sean's first big project for Assemblyman Clancy.
And the least Sean could do is help us get ready for his dinner.
He's meeting Mr. Langston. He's got his work cut out for him.
All he has to do is negotiate a land deal. I've got to make the perfect evening to impress this Mr. Langston and deal with a father who won't trust me to do it right.
I'm sorry. I know you'll make me proud.
Don't start being nice. I'm too busy.
Alice, you are going to change for dinner, aren't you?
He still hesitates in the turn.
Well, actually, you hesitated.
What?
Yeah, you pulled back. Mostly in your butt.
Excuse me?
Well, you asked. Well, come on. We have to go get ready for dinner.
Watch me one more time. Tell me if I do any better.
I promised Alice I'd fold the napkins.
Oh, that sounds important.
Oh, it is to Sean.
Well, you'll never guess what Assemblyman Clancy is up to now.
I'm busy, William.
He got the Assembly to allocate funds for the public good with our tax money. He's got Sean negotiating with the railroad to buy Colonel Potter's old land down by the tracks to build, are you ready for this? A public hospital.
Mm-hmm.
With our money. Are you listening to me?
Not really. I have to prepare this letter of credit for John Turner so that he can go to Louisville.
Letter of credit. What for?
He's going to buy some horses.
Without discussing it with me? Vivian. Vivian, I'm talking to you.
Mother.
Vivian. Have you gained a little weight, dear?
Mother!
William. Look at how handsome you are.
I can't believe you're back. You said that you would never step foot in this house again as long as Father was...
I sent you 3 letters about Father's condition. You didn't respond to any of them.
I didn't receive them until I returned to New York. I was in Paris, where I found Hélène, who's been an absolute godsend. Oh! Attention! Impossible.
I never get to go to Paris.
I must see your poor father. How is he?
He's not well. He's unconscious, unresponsive.
Indeed.
How long are you going to stay?
I suppose that depends on how your father does. I was so sorry to hear about your engagement, dear.
Vase in the corner. And we'll have to get some yellow daffodils for that. Yes, ma'am.
But you're not wearing that, are you?
What's wrong with this?
Well, I told you to wear the new suit that I bought you.
I can't eat in it. I can hardly sit in it.
Don't forget to brush your hair.
Where are those papers from, Clancy? He's trusting me with this. I gotta do this right.
They're right here.
Thanks. This Langston's more experienced than I am. He's a lawyer. He's been doing this for a long, long time. Where's that soil report? feel like this is my first day of mathematics with Miss Donahue. Would have never made it through that one without you, remember?
Yeah, the back of my hand remembers a ruler.
Thanks for coming to work with me on this.
I want to see this through as much as you do.
Is my tie straight?
Good.
Mr. Logan, I'm Henry Langston. Property Affairs, Mid-Central Railroad.
Of course. Sean Logan, and this is Marita. Marita Peters.
Miss Peters.
Welcome to Lexington, Mr. Langston.
I know you're a busy man, but I was hoping you'll join my family for dinner.
It will be my pleasure.
And on the way there, I was thinking we could go over some reports.
You travel a lot for business, I understand, Mr. Langston.
It's given me an opportunity to see a great deal of this country.
Have you ever been west? I've always wanted to see San Francisco.
Oh, it's an exciting city. All the different people, so many nations, languages, customs.
When I was a boy, it was impossible to imagine that one day we'd be able to travel so easily and quickly all over this country.
I'm surprised that you would want to leave such beauty as you have here.
Maybe we should go over those reports now, Mr. Langston.
Oh, we can do that tomorrow.
I'm sorry, I understood you'd only be able to stay in Lexington overnight.
I was planning to leave tomorrow, but I can stay a few days.
I'd better be getting home. Good night.
Good night.
Good night, Marita.
Sean, perhaps you could take Mr. Langston out to the land in question tomorrow and talk about your plans.
Well, why should Gerald Clancy and Sean Logan corner the market on projects for the public good?
What do you mean?
Yesterday on my way here, I was shocked at how Lexington has grown in my absence. There were so many people living in the most filthy shacks.
Well, you're not suggesting that we should pay for the workers' housing.
The land Assemblyman Clancy and Sean want to acquire would be ideal for some sort of workers' housing, wouldn't it?
Mother, what are you up to?
Whatever do you mean?
We can't afford to run it as a charity. You must have some other reason for plotting this.
You'd be surprised how profitable philanthropy can be, dear. Besides, think how well it would position William for the next election were he to spearhead such an enterprise.
So, you'd be willing to sacrifice a large capital outlay just in order
If
to...
I may say so, dear, words like capital outlay are not the sort of utterances gentlemen expect to hear from a young lady.
Yes, come in.
Hello.
Je suis la bonne de Madame Winter. Elle m'a dit de vous demander si elle pourrait vous rendre visite aujourd'hui pour prendre du thé. Vous approuvez?
Madame Winter, êtes du retour?
What did she just say?
She said that Vivian and William's mother is back in Lexington, and they want to call on us for tea.
Oui, mademoiselle.
Lexi, you've got to teach me French.
So Georgina's back. I wondered what was taking her so long.
What do you mean by that?
Well, if Asa should die, she wants to make sure she'll get her share of his fortune. And somebody else's share, too, if she can. This should be very entertaining.
The price you're offering isn't much more than the railroad paid for this land.
Mr. Langston, I'm not trying to cut the best deal. I'm telling you the truth. $5,000, 100 acres, all the money the Assembly has allotted.
I understand, but we're in no hurry to sell.
Well, there's a real need here for a public hospital, Mr. Langston.
Henry, please, call me Henry.
All right, Henry. There are so many people who can't afford medical care. Miners, railroad and factory workers, their employers. They use them up and they throw them away.
I think what Marita means... I think Marita speaks very well for herself. Members of my family labored for the railroad. I know only too well how they treat their manual workers.
Then you can see how good this sale would be for the railroad, from a public relations point of view.
If you had been here, Mother, I would have won that election.
Well, thank you, dear. Vivian, you and I are going to pay a call on the Logans.
No. I don't think that would be a very good idea.
Please change into something appropriate. That teal dress.
I'm working on the accounts, Mother.
William can manage that.
Sean, can I ask you a question about Marita?
Sure.
I want to call on her, but I don't know if she's spoken for. Would you happen to know?
That's something you'd have to ask her.
Your thinking is misguided, dear. Women exercise their authority through men, not against them.
Well, that may be your way, but I don't
It's the only way. No woman can ever be truly happy, or at least protected without a husband.
You seem to be doing just fine.
Your father and I are still married. We have an understanding.
Yes. You can't stand each other.
Being married suits our purposes. But I was never able to bend my nature to your father's satisfaction. So rather than cause either of us any more distress, I decided to take a vacation.
For 5 years?
I was exhausted. Well, here we are. Observe, my dear, and learn. Paris is the most beautiful city, but I'm afraid I have a weakness for our people. The French are so, well, foreign. And their men are not nearly so attractive or high-minded. Why, my son tells me you are masterminding a charitable project, Sean, a hospital, I believe?
Sean?
I'm sorry. You were saying?
I understand you've managed to convince the railroad company to take an interest in your humanitarian notion.
Well, I hope to. Nothing's settled yet.
I'm being too inquisitive. It's a bad habit I acquired while traveling without the benefit of a gentleman's company. I think it's admirable that you're taking after your father with your interest in public works. It's such an admirable quality in a man. Wouldn't you agree, Vivian? Not another cookie, dear?
I must admit I'm impressed with your interest in public works, Georgina, and somewhat surprised.
It's Sean's initiative I find so striking. But you've got to be careful not to let those lawyers overcharge you. They're tricky. They'll make you think you're getting a bargain when they're really charging you twice what it's worth.
Well, they didn't do that. Sean's got them to agree to $100 an acre.
Really?
Lexi?
How remarkable.
Escort you to your door.
All right.
I had a wonderful evening tonight. Might you be free for a walk tomorrow?
Sure.
You misspelled perpetuity.
Oh, sorry.
This is a contract, Marita. It has to be perfect.
I said I was sorry.
What happens in 10 years from now if the railroad decides it wants its land back and all of a sudden we have to throw sick people out of the hospital just because...
Because I misspelled a word, Sean? Why don't you get the deal made first before you start worrying about me killing patients who aren't even sick yet in a hospital that hasn't even been built? What's this really about, Sean?
Sean. Marita. Morning.
And no, Sean, the flowers are not for you.
Oh, they're beautiful. Thanks.
Not nearly as beautiful as you.
I had Marita drop a contract. Thought you might want to look at it before we get started.
Mrs. Winters came to see me this morning. She made an offer for the land. $120 an acre.
The Winters enjoy pitting themselves against my family.
But it's not your family that's buying the land. It's the government.
Yeah, but if I wasn't involved, Mrs. Winters wouldn't have made that offer.
But you are involved, and she did make the offer. The only question now is, do you wish to still be involved?
I've only been authorized to spend $5,000, $100 an acre. That's all there is. And as we've said, this isn't just about money for your company. I'm sure the Winters don't want to use that land for the public good.
As a matter of fact, Mrs. Winters said they intend to build inexpensive workers' housing there.
Tenements. That's what they'd be. Tenements. You need to think this through, Henry.
I'm in full possession of my faculties. I don't appreciate being told what to do.
Henry, whatever the Winters tell you, they're in it for themselves.
Well, take that into consideration. But this is a complicated matter, and I can't ignore the financial part of it.
It's preserves of wild strawberries all the way from France.
Well, thank you.
Call it a peace offering.
Well, I didn't know that we were at war.
I have this awful feeling that Sean will think we're... Oh, Ned. I'm afraid I've overstepped my bounds.
J'aime le vin français. Huh? No, vous mentez à Cavalier? Huh? Yeah.
You just asked her if she rides horsemen.
Oh, no.
Pathetic.
No,
Puis-je avoir le grand honneur de vous inviter à dîner?
Why?
What did he just say?
He just asked her out to dinner, and she said yes.
Yeah, I got that.
I never meant to offend Sean, but I can see I've committed a grievous error, and I want to make it up to you.
Aha, that explains the jam.
I just want to make sure there are no hard feelings. Sean.
Georgina.
Sean.
I'm so glad to see you. I hope I can convince you to withdraw your offer on that railroad land.
As I was telling my children, Sean, the workers of this country are in desperate need.
For high-priced tenements, I heard.
Sean.
What would it take to make you change your mind?
I really don't think there's anything you could offer. And I'm afraid to say I have to wonder if I could really trust you. You seem to have a way of going back on your word.
And is that what this is about? Me and Vivian?
I told you he'd be upset.
I'm right here. You can talk to me directly.
Sean, I came to apologize for any misunderstanding.
Oh, I understand you perfectly.
But I can see there's nothing I can say to change your mind.
You could say you withdraw your offer.
Now, why would I want to do that? Gentlemen.
What's gotten into you? This isn't like you.
Don't you care that she's only doing this to block the hospital deal?
Of course I do. But you don't solve the problem by provoking her. What's wrong, Sean? This isn't just about the land for the hospital.
I'd like it here, too. It's beautiful here. I have something for you.
Oh, my. You shouldn't have done this, you know.
I know.
Oh, my.
Do you like it?
Thank you.
Colonel, you know how important this project is for the people of this county. All we need is a temporary loan of $1,500.
How would you pay it back?
I'll find a way.
Sean, I wish I could help you. I'm stretched a little thin right now. How about Sykes or Ben Matterly?
I've already asked them. $130 an acre, and that's my final offer.
I thought you only had 100 an acre.
I'm getting the extra 30.
Mrs. Winters has offered $200 an acre.
What? What are you saying? She upped her own offer?
I gather she had a conversation with you. She assumed you'd increase your offer. She wanted to make sure she got the land.
I can't raise that kind of money.
And I'm afraid I can't recommend to my company that we accept $3,500 less.
Henry, I'm working my tail off to build something that's gonna help people.
I'd like to help you. But if you can't come up with the money, and I have a dinner engagement.
You getting something out of this yourself, Henry?
You can consider negotiations between us finished, Mr. Logan.
Another. Railroad wouldn't have even considered selling the land if it wasn't for us. And then Mrs. Winters comes in, sticks her nose in, outbids us.
Still sounds like you got pretty mad at Henry.
Yeah, I got mad, Pa. Wouldn't you?
Well, usually I don't shout at people that I am trying to do business with and accuse them of bribery.
Yeah, well, he was being...
Because it doesn't work. When I get mad out of proportion to the cause, and you know that I can, it's usually because something else is bothering me.
You have to have flowers on the table if you have a gentleman caller coming for Sunday lunch.
I guess.
Oh, are you going to make your peach pie? I have some preserves if you run out.
I still have some.
You don't seem very excited.
I am. Of course I am. I mean, he's well educated. He's got a good job. People respect him. He's sweet and gentle
and handsome.
And handsome.
And he really likes you.
And I like him.
But you're not in love with him.
Oh, it's too soon to know that.
Have you ever felt that way before?
Last night, I was...
You were upset.
Yeah.
About the land sale.
I want to make it up.
Maybe if I say something to Henry, Mr. Langston, for you. He's coming here for lunch.
with you and your pal.
I could tell him how important it is to you.
Don't worry about it.
And to me.
You shouldn't let business interfere with your lunch. Have a good time.
Hey, why'd you start lunch early?
I have somewhere to go.
Where's Pa?
Mrs. Winters invited him to eat with them.
Where's Sean?
He went to town to pick up supplies. He should have been back by now, though.
Well, gotta go.
Where are you going?
Adieu.
You've been teaching him French, haven't you?
You sure do ask a lot of questions.
I was glad you invited me. I wanted to talk to you about...
Vivian, dear, would you move to the other side of the table, please? Our guest of honor must sit on my right.
I was hoping we could find a way to resolve our differences.
I knew you'd find a way to save the day.
Well, I was thinking I could help you find some other, more suitable land for your housing project.
Now, Ned, I really must insist that we enjoy our repast without discussing business. The cook has outdone herself in your honor.
Thank you.
Your father must have been real proud.
He sacrificed a great deal to get me through college.
Still, you're the one who got accepted. And to Howard University Law School. You know, I bet your whole family turned out for your graduation.
That they did.
Excuse me.
Thank you,
Wow,
sweetheart.
that is gorgeous. Oh, could I possibly have another spot of coffee to go with it? Thank you.
No, you sure do meet a lot of fascinating people traveling like you do, but have you ever thought about settling down?
I was lucky enough to get a good education. I figured I needed to expand my horizons. But lately...
I'm gonna go and find that book I was telling you about, Henry.
I'm gonna have to leave Lexington soon now that my business is concluded.
You haven't decided to take Mrs. Winter's offer.
Don't you worry about that. Everything will turn out all right.
Henry, listen to me.
Now let's talk about you and me.
The railroad will make a profit on Sean's offer. A smaller one, but enough that they can feel good about doing the right thing.
It's more complicated than that. I have a responsibility to the company.
I don't see how you can work for them when all they're interested in is money.
Sometimes the best way to change people like that is to work with them, help guide them towards something better.
And yet you're going to recommend that they take the highest bid.
Marita, I don't want to waste our time together talking about this.
No, you just want me to flutter that fan you gave me and agree with everything you say.
Now, that's something I'll never have to worry about with you, is it? Now, I was hoping we could take advantage of this beautiful afternoon and have a stroll. A Sunday stroll like our parents took, and their parents. And people who admire each other have taken since time began.
Oh, excuse me. Hey, Clay! You know, I knew you'd be here.
Do you know Helene? Would you like me to introduce you?
Very funny. Yeah, I knew you'd try to get her to go out with you.
Seems like I'm doing more than trying to.
You think you can learn a few words in French and impress girls? You're really sad, Jeremy.
You're the one who's crying, Clay.
You already said that. My mother's very angry that you took the afternoon off. Ma mère est très fâchée que vous ayez pris un congé cet après-midi.
And if I had asked
Well,
her...
let's ask her. Let's ask her which one of us she wants to go out with.
Fine, let's ask her.
All right.
you do? You sing? You touch it, it goes. Everything always. You have a big problem. You know that?
Yeah. 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 Come on.
What happened?
If you hadn't have showed up...
Hey, she walked out on you, not on me. Hey.
Come on.
Whoa. Go get Pa. Go get Pa!
Come on.
Sean? Sean. Oh.
What are you doing? What am I gonna do with you, Sean? You're too hard-headed to talk to. You're too old to discipline. You won't even tell me what's going on. You better shape up before you really hurt somebody. Come on.
Hey. I guess I've been a little crazy, you know, with Clancy dependent on me and all. But that's no excuse for the way I've been treating you and Henry. He's just doing his job, and he's doing it well. Henry's a good man.
Why are you telling me this?
Because I've been selfish. Marita, I want you to have what's best for you.
And what's that?
Henry.
Oh. You look beautiful, sweetheart. Except for one thing. Hmm? That's it. No, now you look like your mother did the day that I...
Papa.
Well, you know what he's gonna do, don't you? The man's gonna propose to you.
I'm not so sure.
Of course he is. He'd be a fool not to. And Henry Langston doesn't strike me as no fool. Listen, I don't want to tell you what to do, sweetheart. But men like him are rare. Of course, you're pretty bright yourself. But smart people sometimes think too much with their heads. And this is a decision that's got to come right from here. So, what are you gonna do?
What?
Well, I was so afraid you were going to propose to me.
And what would you have said?
Oh, no, you don't get to find out if you don't ask.
I have a feeling that in about an hour, I'm gonna know I've made the biggest mistake of my life.
It'll take you a whole hour to figure that out. You need a different kind of woman to be your wife, Henry.
That is my tragedy. That woman would have never convinced me to recommend that my company take Sean's offer for the land.
Oh, thank you, Henry. That's wonderful.
You're welcome. I hope you'll think of me from time to time.
Try and stop me.
Oh. Excuse me. Play.
Sorry to bother you, Mrs. Winters, but,
Is Helene available?
I had to let her go. She took the afternoon off without permission. What lovely flowers. Merci bien.
No.
Henry sent me a note. He's recommending that the railroad company accept my offer of $130 an acre.
Well, that's great. Yeah. So Clancy convinced the assembly to give you some more money.
No. I was hoping you could lend me the $1,500. I'll pay you back from next year's tobacco crop.
No, I don't think that's going to work.
What?
You're going to have to get that money yourself, son.
I've tried. There's no other way.
You should have asked me before you made that offer.
I don't understand. This is just the kind of public good thing you're always saying we should do.
You can't do good with money you don't have.
Pa, if you don't loan me the money, I'm gonna have to tell Gerald that I can't close the deal.
I guess you will.
Henry, I'm glad I caught you.
You got my message?
I did. I appreciate it. It was good of you not to hold the people of this county responsible for my behavior the other day. I'm afraid I made a big mistake. I can't come up with the extra money.
I see.
I did the wrong thing, offering it to you before I had it. I understand you'll have to sell that land to Mrs. Winters now.
That's exactly what I'm gonna have to do.
Of course. Well, good luck. Thanks again.
Sean! If we both look for it, I suspect we can find an appropriate piece of land for that hospital.
Henry, thank you.
Let me talk to a couple people with the railroad.
And I'll see what I can find around here.
I'll be in touch.
The figures are around here somewhere.
Darling, they don't add up.
Well, they certainly do, Mother, if you just...
We're going to have to do this again.
Well, Mother, you have your land. Mr. Langston is going to sell it to you. I only hope you know what you're getting into.
Of course we do.
Oh, well, then you know that you need to pay for new surveys and rights of titles and investigate any tax liabilities and credit claims. But of course, you already thought of all that, didn't you?
I've been running around like, I don't know what. Thinking that buying the land for that hospital was the right thing to do, so it didn't matter how I got it done. We'll make that hospital happen. And we'll do it without me being so big-headed about it.
That's good.
You're the only one I can talk to. Do you know how much I've missed that?
Me too. Sometimes you think you love somebody when you really just like them.
Sometimes it's the other way around. I've been a fool, huh?
Mm-hmm.